the shadow of his massive wings folded behind him, engulfed me, dimming the light from the magical glitter globe in the hallway. I had only once seen a man fey with wings this large, long ago at an inn in Ishtangard village, during a night I would never forget. Because it was my first, and it was perfect. A memory I would hold on to and remember with gratitude the spectacular lover with emerald eyes I met only once, who turned me from girl to woman, the one man who had held my heart.
"Rise, Freya,"
the man said, his voice gentle. I looked up to meet the approving gaze of my matri, and then my glance met that of the High Prince of the Unseelie Court. His emerald eyes shined at me with recognition, and the bright brown hair that had once tickled my bare skin fell on his forehead. Logan, sorry, Prince Callan, I managed, as I rose to my feet, shocked. How was this possible? The man I'd met 3 years ago was barely more than a youth. A farmer's son, as he'd told me, traveling to sell produce for his poor family. He said his name was Logan, and yet the resemblance was perfect. I quickly ran the numbers. The ages matched. I was 19, his age then. Prince Callan of the Unseelie Court, who now stood before me with his broad, muscular shoulders, strong, wide body, and stubble-covered face, was 22. It was him, all right. I could see in his eyes that he knew me. My liege, I started, it is a great honor to have you grace our tower with your presence on this day. He chuckled and turned to Matri Olivia.
"Spoken like true nobility, your guidance, madam, I assume."
Matri Olivia gave him a small, polite smile, but I saw the pride in her eyes. He knew how to play this game. Of course he did, because he was a prince, not a farm boy. And he must have known that my Matri really came from a noble family in Manus Leith. She left them to join the tower, but sometimes she'd visit and bring back gourmet food that even the tower, on the yearly banquet, couldn't boast.
"I do my best,"
she said.
"And Freya is a very good study."
A compliment from her? I counted my lucky stars. Matri Olivia never liked to give praise to servants, as if she thought that encouraging us would make us overly confident and lazy, or that we would see her as weak. Good words from her were like winning a country award. She was hard to please. She seemed to keep mental track of everything around her at all times, and disciplined ladies' maids for mistakes nobody else noticed. Other matries weren't like that. I sometimes wondered whether she became this way from the solitude, living so far from her family. Thank you, Matri. I smiled, trying to avoid Callan's penetrating eyes, and failing. His gaze was fixed on me with an expression of excitement, as if he were happy to see me again. Had he been thinking of me? We'd agreed not to exchange any information, nor try to keep in touch, something I'd regretted every day since. But I always doubted he'd feel that way too. He hadn't even told me his real name. Yet, now he was here, and he seemed delighted to meet me again.
"She'll soon be leaving my service to take on a management role,"
Matri Olivia continued. I had to keep my jaw from dropping. She was never like this.
"Congratulations,"
Callan observed me, as if measuring his next words. He took a step forward. My breath quickened as I wondered what he'd say. Would there be a hint that I was more than just a random conquest?
"There's a ball tonight,"
he said.
"I am to dance with a few women, including 2 of the Matri's ladies' maids. I am hoping to see you when the line forms by the musicians."
He was asking me to dance. Of course, I said quickly, and he smiled. But did he mean it? Maybe he was just being polite. Royalty often were. I knew that from working for Matri Olivia and accompanying her to palace meetings. I probably learned more about politics and court affairs from her than if I had been born to one of the king's advisors.
I'll be looking forward to that.
There was an unmistakable longing in his voice when he said these words. His eyes caught mine. Damn it. He was for real, and I wouldn't even be there. The ball was my time for escape. I thought of the bag behind my bed and the secrets it hid. Should I change my plans? Leave later? Dance with him first? But it would be too dangerous. I could get caught if I didn't leave on time. Heavy footsteps sounded in the hall, and in a blink, 2 men, one short with orange-red hair, and one tall with dark blue hair, emerged and joined us. Their uniforms were similar to Callan's, and they were fully armed, their swords visible above and below their wings. Prince Callan's personal guards. The short one, who seemed much older than the other, was the first to speak.
We've checked that everything is safe for tonight, Cal. Matri, ma'am, I hopes it's all right that we requests Prince Sluax to double security at your tower before the celebrations begin. This isn't sufficient.
Of course, Bryce. We will see right to it.
Matri Olivia replied, and then turned to me.
Will you carry this message to the Matri's council? Matri Penelope will be the best one to handle it.
I nodded and turned to leave.
I'll join her.
The other guard said.
See she gets there and back safely.
What? Thank you, sir, but that's never been necessary before. I curtsied and tried to leave again.
I insist. I'm sure it won't hurt. I'm Clyde, by the way.
His voice was metallic, unpleasant to my ears, and he smiled too widely. The sharpness of his gaze engulfed me until I felt forced to smile back. All right, this way, please. I started to walk with him reluctantly, glancing back at Callan to see a furious look in his eyes. He hissed. A second later, he was beside me, glaring at Clyde.
I will deliver this message myself. Freya, if you will be so kind as to show me to the Matri's council.
Of course, sire. I smiled, relieved at the change. But Callan's behavior surprised me. He wasn't just doing what was best for security reasons. He was being possessive. His expression darkened when his eyes met Clyde's, who stepped back. He could have other, more sophisticated motives to walk with me. But clearly, that was there too. We started to walk, and I could practically feel him beside me, and breathe in the scent of his cologne, the same as it was then. How on earth was he that man? How was it possible? It didn't matter, I told myself. I had to make the best of every moment because I would probably never see him again. I led the way to the council room, choosing the nearest discreet corridor to step out of sight of my Matri and his guards. The moment we were alone, I looked up. Callan's eyes met mine, as if they'd been waiting for my glance all that time. I blushed. It's on the 4th floor.
Callan.
He breathed hard. Callan, sire.
Just Callan.
He corrected. Thank you. I liked the informality. It was flattering, and much more similar to the man I remembered. A young, approachable farm boy. I'd gotten a side of the deadly heir to the Unseelie Court that I doubted many knew existed.
How have you been?
He asked, curious. Good, thank you. I like the tower. It wasn't a lie. I would definitely miss my life here. Matri's ladies' maids were treated with the same respect as the palace National Guards. Our quarters were some of the best among the serving class, and we never wanted for food or clothing. Many of the Fae living in the city below had it rough.
Glad to hear it.
And yourself? He smiled, and suddenly his face looked more like the youth who had once made love to me.
As you well know, things have been tough on my people. I do what I can.
Doing what he can? He looked at me intently, as if there was a hidden meaning in his words. So he was one of them, shrewd politicians who spoke with double meaning. I never liked that, especially at tower dinners. You had to watch out for those hidden cues, for plots within plots. Last year, at the banquet, 2 of the king's advisors sat opposite each other, and only one of them was still alive the week after. I'm certain that you're doing your very best, I said politely. Maybe what he meant was that coming here to support our prince would help, that it would win him points with my people and progress the diplomatic relations. He was wrong. They hated and feared him and despised his mother for not being here instead. We walked on in silence. I could sense warmth radiating from his skin, his closeness.
Have you
His voice shook.
been back to Ishtangard?
His question caught me off guard. Why would I try to go back to where we met when he'd specifically said that we wouldn't keep in touch? No. Why?
Because I did.
He replied. I stopped. You went back? He looked at me. His chest rose and fell tensely.
27 times.
What? My jaw dropped in disbelief, and to my surprise, I now got an icy look from him, almost angry. I swallowed hard. He turned away.